दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र का वो चुनाव जो देश और दुनिया को बदलने की ताकत रखता है। सरकार बनाएंगे करीब 100 करोड़ लोग, जिससे तय होंगे पीएम, पॉलिसी और फ्यूचर। इस सबसे बड़े चुनाव की बड़ी बातों को डिकोड करने के लिए मेरे साथ होंगे देश के जाने माने एक्सपर्ट्स। देश के चुनिंदा शहरों से एनडीटीवी की सबसे बड़ी पेशकश बैटल ग्राउंड देखिए मेरे साथ सिर्फ एनडीटीवी पर, क्योंकि चुनाव मतलब एनडीटीवी।
After 5 years, we are again getting an opportunity to exercise our right to vote. This is a right which has been earned after a very long and hard struggle by our great leaders. We must not waste this opportunity. I have pledged that I will vote. I have appealed to all my family members and friends to come out and vote for the development of our great nation.
The 18th Lok Sabha elections. As always, NDTV has its ear to the ground.
With the biggest pie of 80 seats, all eyes will be on Uttar Pradesh.
Will the Troika ensure the Modi umbrella unites all?
It is the first election in Naya Kashmir since the scrapping of Article 370.
Will the same number of lotuses bloom in the desert, or can Gehlot lend a helping hand to India?
With BJP having Max here with the only pillar standing of Chhindwara fall.
Can Didi once again withstand the saffron tide? Will BJP stay strong in its northeast bastion? Jhadu ka jadoo or Modi magic? Can Congress gain lost ground in Punjab?
Will Revanth Reddy be able to increase the Congress strength in Telangana this time?
Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. Former Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao wanted to arrest senior BJP leader BL Santhosh to force a compromise and negotiate a deal for his daughter K. Kavita, who is an accused in the Delhi liquor policy scam and is currently in Tihar jail. This is what ex-Deputy Commissioner of Police P. Radhakrishna Rao has said in a 6-page confession that's on your television screens, and it contains certain very startling and damning details. He also added that KCR was thinking to use this to corner the BJP. He had asked the Special Intelligence Branch to put surveillance over private persons of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The result was an audio tape that led to the arrest of 3 people after a sting operation at a farmhouse on the outskirts of Hyderabad. The BJP, though, had firmly denied it tried to poach any BRS legislators. Those are the visuals of 2022. BL Santhosh was named as an accused in the case, but after a stay from the Telangana High Court, authorities confirmed in November 2022 that he was not to be questioned in this matter. But with new details coming to light, will Telangana police now question the former chief minister? Has the former cop opened a Pandora's box? And where does this lead the investigations into the phone tapping row?
Former DCP Radhakishan Rao's 6-page confessional statement names former Telangana Chief Minister KCR, referring to him repeatedly as Peddaina or elder, and says KCR had wanted BJP leader BL Santhosh to be arrested so that he could use that to rid his daughter K. Kavita of Enforcement Directorate case.
The confession statement of both Mr. Bhujanga Rao and also Mr. Radhakishan Rao, it reveals certain political conspiracy, in fact planned by Mr. KCR himself. They tapped the important leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party to counter the ED's case on Kavita.
The former policeman also says Special Intelligence Branch Chief Prabhakar Rao, prime accused for whom a red corner notice has been issued, was using official machinery to carry out illegal surveillance on not just KCR's political opponents but BRS party leaders too, to sniff out any anti-party activity.
There is nothing new in this. I mean, the same allegations Congress party leaders, rather the leaders in the important leaders in the government were saying for so many days. There's nothing new, and let the truth come out. Let the case be investigated thoroughly.
Confessional statements of other policemen arrested in the case, including Bhujang Rao and Tirupatanna, claim that specific intelligence gathered illegally was used to cripple the operations of political opponents while facilitating fund movement for the ruling party. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And joining me now, NV Subhash, who is the BJP spokesperson of Telangana. Ravula Reddy is the BRS spokesperson. Sandeep Shastri, Lokniti National Coordinator, and Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS and Special Director of IB. I'm going to begin with you, Yashwardhan Azad. A former Chief Minister illegally taps phones of his political opponents, and these are all part of confession statements which have come to public light now. Where does the buck stop?
Well, I can say that he has violated all the norms because there is a proper method behind tapping of phones, and it can be done with permission. But yes, you're right, if the chief of the executive, that is the CM himself, gets involved with this, then it's extremely unfortunate. But Maria, mind you, there is also an IPS officer who headed the task force. And to submit himself to these kind of directives is something which is not done. He should have realized that this is a gravest crime, I would say, to tap on people's privacy, because you can only tap phones given extreme conditions, whether it's law and order, whether it's crime, and then you do it with permission. So in this particular case, because it's said that not only the criminals, but also politicians, businessmen, and other people, they were there for tapping. So I think it's the gravest crime ever.
Yes, and what the former cop is here saying is that this was done essentially to have some kind of deal for his daughter, who's an accused in the Delhi liquor policy scam. So it is the Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister, who has much to explain, Mr. Reddy.
No, absolutely right, because, but
Ravula Reddy, yes.
See, I mean, these allegations, Maria, are not new. From the day Congress party come into the power in the state of Telangana, then making these allegations. And yes, 4 officers were arrested, and this is the confession statement. Whatever today they are saying in this confession statement, rather showing this confession statement, Congress party leaders or BJP has been saying the same for a long time. So one confession statement...
No, but here there is a larger conspiracy about which it has been talked about, that there was a conspiracy to arrest a top BJP leader, BL Santhosh, and this has been said by someone who was privy to those discussions.
See, everybody has seen in the state of Telangana and in the country how the poaching episode has happened. Few middlemen were arrested who tried to bribe our MLAs then, and they were tried. Now, one confession statement simply cannot declare somebody is an accused or a convict, or somebody is completely responsible to what the police officer has confessed. And see, I am not going into the details, rather what is Indian Evidence Act says and all that. But at this juncture, I can only say one thing. The investigation is in progress.
And will the Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister, join the investigation if he is asked to?
See, the former Chief Minister, Honorable our President, Sri KCR, already has denied all these allegations in the last, media conversation.
So does it really stop at the denial?
Number one.
Does it really stop at the denial? Because look, this is playing out in the domain of politics, and here is a top BJP functionary against whom there was a larger conspiracy, and the deal was, and what Mr. KCR was expecting, according to this confession statement, and I'll ask the producer to put out those images of that on the screen. It says very clearly, KCR wanted the arrest of Mr. BL Santhosh, BJP national leader, to make the case strong so that BJP would come to compromise and it can be used to get rid of the ED case on his daughter MLC Kavita.
See, this is an allegation, and we have an IPS officer present in the panel now. Okay, a DCP cannot, take directions directly from the chief minister. Okay, there is a system, there is a hierarchy. So this confidence statement, to what extent that is right, that has to be confirmed in the days to come. The police has to make a charge sheet, whatever. But during this poaching scandal or poaching, episode.
So you are questioning the very statement of this officer. So Mr. Subhash, how will the truth come out if the Chief Minister's office, I mean, someone from his office, his party is of the opinion that the Chief Minister has denied and the case should rest as that? Mr. Subhash. So if you can hear me.
Can you just repeat the question? I can't hear you.
Yes, my question is that this is playing out in the domain of politics, but the truth has to come out. If the former Chief Minister indulged in illegal phone tapping, and he did so because he wanted some kind of compromise to be struck with the BJP, because he understood that if there was a conspiracy to arrest BL Santhosh, and Mr. BL Santhosh is a top BJP functionary, the number 2 in the BJP hierarchy, the party hierarchy.
Exactly. Right from this case which has come in the public domain, the Bharatiya Janata Party Telangana has been denying that there is any, the conspiracy to trap the BRS MLAs. And it is so evident and clear, crystal clear, when this, the case was about to be in the public domain, how the police came to know about it, how the media came to know, how the, other people came to know, except, Bharatiya Janata Party people, everyone came to know. And we don't have any business, we don't want to do any business with, the BRS MLAs, because we are pretty well sure that in the upcoming elections, Bharatiya Janata Party will be will be achieving a good number of seats, and BRS will be nowhere on that. And that is what happened. And as far as this phone tapping case is concerned, are we in the democracy, or are we in some other state? The Telangana is in India, or is it some other the country? How a police officer, how the Chief Minister can get smuggle the technology from other countries and then use this is for the private people. Even the Bharatiya Janata Party employee in our the state office in Hyderabad, his phone was also tapped, leave alone the top leaders. So this is completely invasion of privacy, and then we demand a thorough inquiry in that. Their own cop, who has been appointed by the BRS leader, the then Chief Minister, he himself has come out and then he started confessing about it. Not only him, other the political, the police, the top cops have really confessed. What more you want on that? Mr. Ravala Sridhar Reddy, what more you want?
Okay, we'll come to a political response, but Sandeep Shastri has been patiently listening to this entire discussion. Mr. Shastri, how are you viewing the developments here? Of course, here is the BRS, which is technically not in the fray in the ongoing elections. But given the kind of revelations which have come out and the timing of these revelations, it doesn't really impact election results. But it sharpens the battle lines, certainly. Sandeep Shastri, one moment, please.
Maria, was that question for me?
Yes, sir.
Maria, I think this is an interesting battleground, tapping battleground that three parties are involved in. First point. Let's remember that this is not the first case of a conspiracy involving tapping. Many years ago, Ramakrishna Hegde resigned as Chief Minister of Karnataka in a phone tapping episode itself, where it was alleged that the government had tapped the phones of opposition leaders. So this is something that happens ever so frequently, and the use of government power ever so frequently happens. In this particular case, as you rightly said, there is likely to be no electoral impact because Telangana has already voted. However, I think the statement today of the police officer raises three questions. One, As a police officer, as a bureaucracy, do you absolve them of responsibility? Do they have to obey political leaders? Is not the bureaucracy there to follow rules and regulations? I think the officer cannot get away with saying that I was asked to do this by the political leadership. Point number two, it's very clear that in many states, when in power, parties in powers have misused this position. Point number three, you have now a Congress government in Telangana which is not involved in either side. And it will be interesting to see who would want to fish in troubled waters to gain political advantage of the situation.
And it appears to be the Congress which is fishing in troubled waters, certainly, because the BJP central leadership is yet to react to it. The first reaction that we have got is from Mr. Subhash, who is the BJP spokesperson of Telangana. But the larger part here is that who tends to gain from this conspiracy. I'll ask that political question in just a bit, but Yashwardhan Azad, the point being made by Sridhar Reddy here is that how can a junior cop know such details? Is he really high up in the hierarchy to know details of this nature that he can make such confession?
Well, Maria, it's quite clear that a task force was made and all these things are done by a selected group of people. Look at what happened in Maharashtra, how the BJP government has installed that same officer as the DGP, who was earlier arraigned for tapping the phones of politicians because she claimed that there were transfers being done for money. So every government doing it, irrespective whether it's BJP, whether it's PRS or whatever. In this particular case, there is a top cop, is the intelligence guy who has the entire systems under him. And there's a very dangerous thing also. You see, reportedly it has been mentioned that some of the phones were hacked. Hacking means that it's a standoff kind of weapon. I guess that kind of thing which has been used. Now this leads to a lot of questions. I'm telling you, if this becomes an issue, first of all, I don't believe it depend on anything or anything, because nothing about governance.
Azad, I'll try and fix your audio because there seems to be some problem with your network. But let me go back to Mr. Sridhar Reddy. Sridhar Reddy, you know, here are details of a conspiracy that had a senior BJP leader, Mr. B.L. Santhosh, someone like him, would have been arrested as the former chief minister wanted, according to this confession letter, then certainly it would have meant that he could have got some kind of bargain for K. Kavita. K. Kavita is in jail and she hasn't got any relief till now.
See, this is a statement made by a police officer in the police custody, number one. Number two, Sri B.L. Santhosh name was mentioned by the middlemen who were caught, who were trying to bribe our MLAs there.
No, but we also know what happened in the court. We also know what happened in the court.
I know what happened in the court.
Yes.
Naturally, whoever names were actually mentioned by the accused who were caught, generally police will try to, exercise their authority over it as per the legal norms. Government will not have any say in it. Neither on a daily basis, the government officials, especially the chief minister or ministers will not intervene in the law and order functioning. If they find a case, if they...
No, but wasn't this group set up by the chief minister himself?
See, that's what I'm trying to say. This is an allegation and a confession statement. This is not final. I really want to question the maturity of the BJP spokesperson. He says, what proof you need more? So any confession statement naming anyone, is it enough to make somebody responsible?
Okay.
Or you can level any kind of charges
NV Subhash, do you want to respond to that? That here is a confession statement which has been taken in custody. So they are questioning the very nature of this statement.
See, this is, this police officer has been appointed by, the BRS government, the chief minister.
I want them to read the
his
Indian
boss
Evidence
has
Act
instructed,
also.
and the employee. Listen, Mr. Sridhar Reddy. I think you are getting panic. Don't press the panic button because your days are numbered.
First of all,
So what I'm trying to say is
Let
that
him finish. Let him
we have been
You don't
vocal
understand
right
things
from.
better. I know you better.
Yeah, we have been vocal
You are
right
not
from day one.
informed properly.
This is only a framed. This is only the framed conspiracy, because many of the Congress leaders, MLAs have joined, the BRS and that. We have no business to take any Congress leader or any Congress MLA or any, the BRS MLAs to our party. If at all we take, we ask them to resign and then come back and then again, the contest in the elections, we take. That's what we have done in Telangana. So my simple question is that his own boss, he is now in the danger, and the confession statement not made by me or not made by the Bharatiya Janata Party or someone. It is the confession statement given by the police people, not only the one person, the DCP, the SP, the all the people including the SIT chief also. So what more you want? What is the evidence you want on that? And it is very clear and evident that KCR doesn't want to listen anything because he wants to have an arm twisting tactics. He wants to swap. He wants to somehow nail the BL Santhosh who has nothing to do with the Telangana politics on that. He is an organization general secretary. He doesn't talk about politics on that. He only talks about organization matters. And by just nailing him, he wants to swap, and then he wants to say that he wants to get all the clearances from ED, CBI, anything, because his daughter was involved in CBI case. Not only that, there is so many allegations against him about the Kaleshwaram project, irrigation project, so many allegations on all that he wanted to get rid of by just arresting Mr. Santhosh ji on that. But truth prevailed. High Court has also given very clear instructions not to arrest, not to do anything on that. Now, our demand, the Bharatiya Janata Party demand is that why, the Congress party is silent on that. Because earlier, the TPCC president, Mr. Revant Reddy, has been constantly accusing that there is a nexus between Bharatiya Janata Party and, the BRS on that. But once he became the chief minister, he has been silent on that. There are so many cases against, the BRS chief. And they have to come to I think they have already come to an understanding that they wanted to stop the growth of Bharatiya Janata Party in Telangana by not arresting any person of either from Congress or from BRS.
Yes, okay.
Why
Mr.
is he
Reddy, go
silent on
ahead.
that?
Sridhar
Why
Reddy.
is he not giving to CBI?
Sridhar Reddy. Yes, Sridhar Reddy, go ahead.
BJP spokesperson is not informed properly. There are no cases against KCR, and he's
I've
saying
been
that
informed very well.
Cases. Understand, Subhash ji, there are no cases. You are informed. Come prepared when you come onto a national platform next time. And we are speaking on a case, on a confession statement. Generally does not stand if you go by the Evidence Act. Number two, what are you saying about? You are trying to bring down the image, rather the stature of your own National General Secretary. What do you think? If one individual is arrested, these kind of deals and all, this is a statement based on which you are responding. And it is not an official now. Neither the police booked any cases against anybody basis this confession statement. If it is only for the media's sake, if somebody is saying, you are responding to it, and in such a way that it is kind of a conviction given.
All right.
I'm sorry.
We have just enough time now for Sandeep Shastri. Sandeep Shastri, politically speaking, I think both of us understand who tends to gain from this, the political slugfest which has started because of these statements. But, talking about the various players here, one tends to believe that here is a former chief minister who believed in having an iron fist control over his party and the government here, and wanted to control everyone. And if you look at the statement which has been made, it also talks about that how he wanted to ensure that if there is some kind of rebellion or protest, he should be able to silence them. Everything had to be, it was illegal ways in which he functioned.
Maria, the statement is truly explosive, because in the side of your screen, it is also mentioned that the important person of the Congress party who was heading the strategy for the party in Andhra was also having his phone tapped. So
yes, Sunil's phone was tapped.
Is very much
and he was raided as well.
Yeah. and everybody is going to use this statement to their advantage. But I would believe that we will have to wait for more formal evidence to come. So this is going to be a great statement for everybody to use to their political advantage. And I'm sure it will happen across the day.
And I would say it's a developing story. Perhaps 4th of June will decide how much more of these startling details will stumble upon or will come out in the public domain. Thank you so much for joining us, Sandeep Shastri, Yashwardhan Azad, Mr. Subhash, and also Mr. Reddy. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
This tip is about WhatsApp. मैंने ऐसा आज तक एक भी इंसान नहीं देखा जो एक स्मार्टफोन यूज करता हो बट WhatsApp यूज ना करता हो. That's how deeply penetrated WhatsApp is. And the tip is just to maintain your privacy over some chats. Now, अगर आपके WhatsApp में there are a few chats जिनको आपको lock करना है, you want to make them private. Now you can use this option of chat lock. This is not something new. ये काफी टाइम से है, but then not many people are aware about this. So if you want to lock any particular chat, आप सीधा उस chat को open करने के बाद में when you go at the options, you can lock this chat so that वो केवल आपके fingerprint या आपके face से या किसी password से ही open हो. Becomes very convenient अगर आप अपना phone किसी को देते हैं and you don't want them to open your WhatsApp and then open a particular chat and then scroll all the way up. मतलब you know the drill. So you can use chat lock अपनी chats को private रखने के लिए.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
You know, I'm going to give you a very straightforward answer and it's going to be like super honest. अगर आपको अपनी health को ट्रैक करने के लिए या एक्टिविटी ट्रैक करने के लिए if you want a device, first I would not recommend that you wear a smart watch on your biceps. I mean, not advisable at all. Watch को तो यही पहनना पड़ेगा. But let's say you want to move towards a ring. It's a great option. There are some amazing rings available जो बहुत अच्छे से आपकी फिटनेस को ट्रैक कर सकती हैं. But if you trying to go affordable वाले साइड में, let me be very frank with you, the accuracy is all around. मतलब वो बिल्कुल भी accurate नहीं होंगी. Sometimes the sensors just don't work. आपको random figures दिखती हैं ऐप में. So I would not at all advise कि आप एक affordable smart watch या smart ring for that matter मतलब कुछ भी आप purchase करें because half the times these sensors they really don't work. They are not really well calibrated. So if you want to invest, I mean you need to invest a sufficient amount. And speaking of smart rings, I would say Samsung's smart ring is right around the corner. हो सकता है अगले 2 महीने हमको मिल सकती है. Right now we have Aura ring and we have some other options. तो वो आप try कर सकते हो. Those would really help you.
Hey TG, do you think I can execute and work on a fully fledged editing timeline on Adobe Premiere Pro with an iPad? मुझे बहुत ट्रैवल करना होता है यार, तो क्या एक iPad लेना ठीक रहेगा?
You know, the best would be to get a MacBook. iPads are amazing. There's no doubt about it. But you don't have full-fledged like these editing suites available on iPad. मतलब you can't use like a Premiere Pro जो आप desktop पे use करते हो. Even if you're trying to use the Final Cut Pro, like coming straight from Apple, on a laptop, on a proper desktop class editing software, you get many more options, and iPad is a bit limiting, I would say. So अगर आपको serious editing करनी है, I mean, if it's casual, iPad is more than capable. Even Final Cut Pro and all, they have super options baked in. आप सारा काम कर सकते हो. But if you're trying to get real professional, I would recommend you get a proper MacBook. I know it's a bit like iPad तो थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाता है while traveling and all.
In the heat and dust of politics, perspective should not get lost. Watch me decipher hard politics through an academic lens, only on NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app.
Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom on the programme tonight with just one phase in these elections left. It's going to be a crucial vote in Bengal. Remember, in 2019, till the sixth phase, the BJP were actually ahead of the Trinamool Congress in results. But then there was a 9-0 surge in favour of the Trinamool in the last phase. Mamata Banerjee knows that, and she realises the importance of the last phase at a time when the BJP appears to be gaining a lot of strength in the state. That's what they claim. Today, the Prime Minister said Bengal is going to be the best performing state for the BJP in India. And the Trinamool is fighting for its existence in these elections. On this program, a deep dive into the final phase in Bengal with data, just what is at stake. And at 9:30 p.m, a very special interview, NDTV Dialogues with Sonia Singh, Sonia in conversation with Fareed Zakaria, the international affairs expert, Washington Post columnist, and host of CNN's GPS Sundays. That's coming up at hour. But first, as we look at the battle for Bengal and whether Modi's blitz can breach Didi's fort, it's important to just run through a couple of important graphics. As I do that, let me introduce our panelists on the program this evening. Tuhin Sinha of the BJP, Amitabh Tiwari joins us as well. So does Shikha Mukherjee, the senior journalist, and Tausif Ahmed Khan, someone close to the Trinamool Congress. But before we go across to them, we want to put a peg to this particular discussion. And these were these remarks by the Prime Minister today.
बंगाल के चुनाव में टीएमसी पार्टी अस्तित्व की लड़ाई लड़ रही है। आपने देखा होगा पिछले असेंबली के चुनाव में हम 3 थे, 3 में से बंगाल की जनता ने हमें 80 पर पहुंचा दिया। हमें लोकसभा के अंदर भारी बहुमत पिछले चुनाव में मिला था। इस बार पूरे हिंदुस्तान में द बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग स्टेट कोई होगा तो पश्चिम बंगाल होने वाला है।
All right, so that's a big claim there from the Prime Minister, but the BJP quite confident of where they stand in Bengal. Let's take a look at where Phase 7 was last time around and why it's so important and why the Trinamool, the India Alliance and certainly the BJP have it very much on their radar. It could be quite decisive if you take a look at where the overall elections are going. So let's roll out graphic 1. Remember, in Phase 7, in the Battle of Bengal, there are 9 seats in Phase 7. So if you actually look at seats 1 in the first 6 phases, and that's the first column, the Trinamool had won 13, and the BJP, if you take a look at the just underneath them, the BJP had won 18. So in the first 6 phases, the BJP were 5 seats ahead of the Trinamool Congress. But if you take a look at the 7th phase, right, that's where it was a 9-0 in favor of the Trinamool Congress. So a real surge in the performance of the Trinamool Congress. Now, whether or not that's something that's going to remain or whether or not perhaps the BJP making gains elsewhere, possibly even in the 7th phase, which comes up, that we'll know on the 4th of June. But it is interesting that at a time when the BJP has been gaining strength in Bengal, it was actually in the first phase, 6 phases in 2019 ahead of the Trinamool Congress, and in the 7th phase, that's when the Trinamool did well. Before I go across to key candidates, I'd just like to put that across to Shikha Mukherjee. Shikha, how is this 7th phase particularly important? Obviously for all political formations, but is there a sense that, you know, for the BJP, for the Trinamool Congress, they just have to retain the seats they won, while for the BJP there's nothing to lose?
Obviously, because, you know, this is where the Trinamool, this is the Trinamool stronghold. Just as in the phase 6, it was the BJP stronghold, and where, you know, out of the 8 seats, there were 7 were with the BJP, not after 2021. So this is the real crunch time. 6th phase and 7th phase. One was with the BJP, the other one is with the Trinamool. The point is, will the BJP make inroads? Where is it possible for the BJP to make inroads?
I'm just going to go through, Shikhati, just 1 second. I'm going to go through some of the key candidates in phase 7, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. So let's roll those graphics on some of the key constituencies and candidates in the battle for Bengal, because there are some really, really big names contesting. In Boshirhat, Rekha Patra, the face of the women's protest in Sandesh Khali, a key BJP candidate. Abhishek Banerjee, the protege of Mamta Banerjee's nephew, contesting from Diamond Harbour. And the Trinamool leader, Shogoto Roy, contesting from Dum Dum. So 3 key faces over there, among many others who are contesting this time around. Shikha, go ahead with the points. You know, we've just pointed out 3 seats, important, and 3 big leaders. Your thoughts on these seats? Yeah.
So let's look at these 3 seats that you just put out. One is Rekha Patra, the face of the Shakti Swarup of the BJP's campaign. The woman, the empowered woman, the woman who was abused with violence by the Trinamool, who stands up and the BJP stands beside her. She is Shakti Swarup according to the campaign. BJP has nominated her. She's not a political worker in the past. She's a complete newbie. Now, having made her the symbol of women's power in Bengal, has the BJP on the ground got the wherewithal in terms of the organization and the strategy to convert her status as an icon into a vote? This is the big question that is going to come up on the 1st of June. Abhishek Banerjee has an enormous lead. The chances of him losing is almost impossible. Shogoto Roy is in for a tough fight, but I think that, you know, Shogoto Roy is likely to get through. Now, what is the basis for this? The basis for this is that there are 2 things. One is that there is, all governments face it. All political parties in power face it. There is anti-incumbency against Mamta Banerjee. The issues are, in terms of Boshirhat, there's Sandesh Khali. In terms of the other constituencies, there is corruption.
Right.
On both of these, it would seem from the Prime Minister's interview to ANI that the Trinamool Congress is fighting for its existence. Its survival is at stake.
Yes.
Now, is in fact this survival at stake is the question that needs to be asked. On what basis is the Prime Minister making this statement? First and foremost, this is not a state assembly election where the Trinamool's fate is at stake. It is the BJP's fate which is at stake. Number 1. Number 2 is that is this corruption and Sandesh Khali issue enough to offset the support that Mamta Banerjee has? And there are 2 vote banks that Mamta Banerjee has. One is women voters, who the expectation is that Sandesh Khali will impact in such a big way that they're going to move away from Mamta Banerjee. Now that I think is a very large expectation.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's an unrealistic one or not, but that will come out on the 4th of June. But it is a very, very large expectation.
Okay, Shikadi, let me just interrupt you to get a quick reaction to what you're saying. Lots of important points. Tuhin Sinha, what the Prime Minister said today in that interview, that, it's an existential issue in a sense in these Lok Sabha elections for the Trinamool Congress. Is that necessarily correct? Because as Shikadi points out, while the issue of Sandesh Khali, corruption, and I would add CAA are important electoral points, are they necessarily enough to dethrone Mamata Banerjee in Bengal from the lead position, as it were?
Well, good evening, Vishnu. Good evening, everybody. As you mentioned at the start, it was basically the 7th phase in the last elections, which turned out to be the savior for TMC. So imagine with all the negative deeds which they have done in the last 5 years, there is a lot of animosity against Mamata Banerjee across the state. And I don't think the 7th phase is going to be a savior this time. Now, crime and corruption have been the two cornerstones or the hallmark of Mamata Banerjee's administration. And only in the last 4 months, the way these cases have tumbled out, whether it is Sheikh Shah Jahan, who she protected for a good two months before, at one point of time, 3 months ago, Sheikh Shah Jahan almost seemed like the super CM of Bengal. In the last 1 month, 2 very indicting Calcutta High Court judgments, one on the teacher recruitment scam, which, and I think the recruitment of thousands of teachers were set aside by the High Court. And number 2, on the issue of reservation theft from the OBC community, which again, Mamata Banerjee shrugged off and rather she spewed venom on the judiciary. All of these are important issues. In the last, 10 days, in fact, the crime which has unfolded, of the Bangladesh minister being killed. Imagine even Bangladeshi criminals now realize the safest place to commit a crime, a heinous crime, is Kolkata. So these are very important issues which have dented whatever little credibility the TMC had, besides the whole attitude of going after BJP supporters, unleashing bloodshed, unleashing all kinds of warnings and reports of this nature have come from across Bengal. So this Taliban mentality of certain sections of the TMC will have to be decisively defeated. And I think that's what makes these elections very special.
Okay, Tausif Ahmed Khan, how would you respond to that? Corruption is what Tuhin focused on a great deal, saying that has a real impact, or potential impact on voters.
Vishnu, the more BJP talks about corruption, the more damage they will do to themselves, the more hypocrisy they will expose of themselves. Mr. Prime Minister was seen today standing in the roadshow next to the former Trinamool Minister Suvendu Adhikari, and he's a FIR named accused in Sharda case, in Navda case. There's a videotape, he's taking money. So the superstar of corruption in Bengal, Suvendu Adhikari, is in BJP's camp, and BJP's main leader in Bengal. He's the opposition leader in Bengal, designated opposition leader in Bengal, and a Trinamool leader actually, who BJP has brought to their own side. So the lesser they talk about corruption, the better it is. Secondly, it is very interesting that Prime Minister says that Trinamool is fighting for survival. He quoted assembly results that from 3 they went to 77, but he missed a very crucial point. You see, in 2019, BJP had a lead of 120 assembly seats. And in 2021 election, that 5 years ago, BJP had a lead in 120 assembly seats. And then 2 years later, the seat went down to 70. So it's a downfall of BJP. After that, in the recent pro-election of Panchayat, BJP is nowhere.
Okay.
And Trinamool vote share has in fact increased from 2019
so let's
to
take a look
at
victory margins. It's an interesting segue, slightly different from what you're saying, but I'd like to bring Amitabh in on this. Let's bring up graphic 3, the Lok Sabha victory margins last time around, because this is interesting. How close was it, and how significant are these victory margins? In fact, if you look at seats won by the BJP, there were 11 seats which were less than 10%. If you look at the Trinamool Congress, which is the third row,